Well, yeah. I wonder if I should make a compilation with a B. I wonder if I should make one of my face being like, hello. I think it's funny. You guys probably don't, but whatever. It's my video. And I get canceled before I even got going. Oh well. Okay, so back at it. Just finished having a counseling appointment, and if you can't tell, it always puts me in a better mood. Well, okay, hang on. Not always. I shouldn't say always, but it certainly did today. And yeah, I'm just really fortunate to have counselors that, I mean, we don't always see eye to eye about everything. However, I certainly do feel like they are in my corner, and I think that when you have mental health, like poor mental health, I think that the biggest thing you want would be support. And it's just so nice knowing that they may not, because I have two different counselors, so they may not agree with me. They may not understand what I'm talking about. However, I do feel like out of anyone, they were the ones to give me the chance to explain. Because the thing that I like about counseling, and I've said this every time, not every single time, but every time I talk about counseling, the thing that I like about it is that they know, even though I say the word you, they don't take it personally. Because sometimes when you're talking and you're just like talk, and you're like, well, you this and you that. But I think that sometimes like the subconscious mind gets away from us. And so, because I think that when you talk to civilians who unfortunately haven't been trained to understand you does not mean you. That when the person says you, they're talking to the people that they actually wish they could talk to and say these things. But perhaps they just don't feel confident enough to express themselves in the way they want to. So that's, I think that's when you get the term sounding board, because sometimes I need to hear how things are going to sound out loud before I would dare say them. Because yeah, sometimes you got to say stuff that's not so nice, and you may not mean it. And I think that, sorry if that me blowing I was trying to blow a piece of dust away, and I think I blew right into the mic, so that might be a bit loud. Apologies, won't happen again. But I think that, oh darn it, I lost a good train of thought there. I think that you really need to, see if I can pull it back. No, I lost it. Oh, well, it'll come back. If it was meant to be. Okay. So it rained, but I think the rain's done, so I'm probably going to get ready to go back out into the garden. Just so many weeds and things to plant and change, because some things that I planted some new stuff as well, and some stuff did not like where it was at. So now I have to like figure out like, okay, where can I put this? Where can I put that? Because of course, unlike the beginning of a garden where you can kind of you just have fresh dirt and you see where things lie or will lie eventually. Now everything's kind of grown, so that's fine. I'll just have to figure it out. But rest assured, I'm used to, adapt or die. Like I'm just used to I'm not a roll with the punches kind of person. Like it takes me a minute to be like, okay, like, okay, blah, blah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling on that one. I think I was just more so focused on the puzzle piece, to be quite honest. Okay, this one's gonna Um, but yeah, okay, I'll just start again, I guess. I'm just in my head trying to think about what I was saying. Yeah, I like the fact that when you talk, now again, I have counselors that I have good relationships with, so I'm very lucky. So what's nice is that I can say, if I get caught up and I forget to say, okay, hey, I'm going to say some stuff, but it's not directed at you. You know, sometimes if you get kind of riled up and then you say, well, you this and you that. And what's nice is that, you know, sometimes I catch myself and I'm just like, sorry, I didn't mean you. And then, you know, my counselor's like, oh no, that's fine. Like, we know, you know, they both say this, but I get counseled individually, but they both say, you know, oh no, we know you don't mean us. So that's nice because I think that actually gives quite a bit of freedom to the client, the patient, whatever terminology you need to put on it, because then you can kind of relax and you know that if you screw up and accidentally forget to say sorry, I don't know my counselor's names, I'm not going to say them out loud. Let's choose a random word, watermelon. Sorry, watermelon, I didn't mean you, this wasn't about you. And you know, they do not, it's not like they're gonna get pissed off and, you know, blah blah. Like, that is their literal job, is to sit there and listen to you discuss your stuff. Now, I know some people are cautious about counseling because of bad experiences in the past. Well, you know what? I also have had some poor experience with some counselors, and really all professional people, unfortunately. But I will say that thankfully for me, I've had such the scales of, you know, good the scales of good versus evil. No. The scales have certainly been more favorable than unfavorable for me receiving counseling. So because I know the benefits outweigh the negative, I will continue to go to counseling. And you know, sometimes you gotta walk away and sometimes you gotta stick it out. And since I don't know you and your specific situation, I certainly cannot comment on it. However, I just know that I often feel much better after counseling, because really, if you can't understand it, simply it is a safe space for me to discuss things that I probably cannot discuss anywhere else. So I think that it is really important to have something like that, and I just couldn't imagine not. Like, oh gosh, like, who do you talk to? So yeah, anyway, that's kind of how I feel about that. Sorry, my thighs were like rubbing at a very awkward angle, and just had to give the chair a little reboot there. Okay. Well, I do miss puzzling in my greenhouse. You know what, guys? I actually really did enjoy that. And I found it as a way to, you know, like bringing the outdoors in. Like, I found it was a way to kind of live in the space and like enjoy the space kind of thing. But clearly I'll have to figure out another route because the camera does not like being out in that hot greenhouse. And I mean, I understand. It does make sense. I just thought I could manage a few videos out there, but yeah, oh my gosh, what a roller coaster of emotion that was. I spent a lot of time out there in the greenhouse making content, and then some setting in the camera that I hit but didn't know that I hit it. Oh gosh, well, I lost everything, and just so frustrating. And I tried to make videos about it, but then I just, oh my gosh, I just cried so much. It's just like, and I know some people are like, oh, she cries a lot. Okay. Because, you know, something that I think is funny about crying is that people say, you know, gosh, you're crying a lot. Da, 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 da. Okay, fine. Because my first question would be like, why are you crying so much? Like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? So, if that's not an avenue you're willing to go down, well, I guess then there we go. Like, but I just always found that funny. Ooh, getting into the final nitty gritty of it all. The wood is really hard to see where it matches up. Oh, you're gonna be somewhere there. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the wood where it's matching up, but I will keep trying. Okay, you're gonna do it. Okay. Okay. There's the gray. It's funny. It's so fixated on one thing, and then you're like, I'm gonna do that, and then within seconds you're like, nah, I'm gonna totally change my plan and blah blah. Oh my. Anyway, funny to me. But yeah, the counseling, man, oh man, I really like it. I like knowing that, you know, if I feel like if something, okay, if a certain situation happens, no doubt I am going to lose my breath. I'm going to feel my heart rate increase. I'm going to, like, all of these things, right? And what's nice is a long time ago, I didn't know why these things were happening. And I think that a lot of times people stay really quiet about these things. And I think that is just so dangerous because, like, it strengthens the stigma that mental health is only for the weak. Like, it's the same thing, you know, lice. I don't know if this is true or not, you know, and this is totally just fluff in my head. But, you know, everyone is like, oh, if you have lice, you're dirty. Apparently, I don't have kids, so I don't really know, but apparently if you have, lice only go after clean heads. However, will that, you know, fear or whatever you want to call it of lice ever go away? Probably, or the stigma of, you know, people having lice ever go away? No, probably not. However, it's just so hard with mental health because sometimes it feels like an uphill battle, and I just don't know why it has to be like that. Like, everybody has a mind. So, you know, you just don't think you're going to be effective. Okay, like. And actually, something that I thought was very interesting, one time, I forget who said this to me, but when I was getting going in my career, they said to me, you should write down all of the things that you think will trigger you when I was a paramedic. And so I wrote down a few things, and they didn't want to see the list. They just wanted to do like a distant visual, like, did I have a few things down? Yep, I sure did. And they were like, okay, good. And I remember them saying, because if you can't think of anything, not one thing, that may upset you, oh, that's dangerous. That's dangerous, because I think then really you become unpredictable. I don't know what's going to rattle you. And trust me, like, when you do those types of jobs, like first responder jobs, you learn real quick what's going to rattle you and what's not. And hopefully you are with a person, like a partner, who can help you out. Because trust me, they will also need help at some point. For example, you can imagine, I'm not giving away anything confidential here, you can imagine in my career over 10 years, I probably had a plethora of different age people. And certain ages didn't bother me like they would other people. So now you can also imagine that any calls that had anything with like any calls that and it wasn't even about the call, any calls that I felt there was an animal being mistreated, I would struggle immensely on those types of calls. And so, that's why you have, as a paramedic, we always used to joke, we are a pair to, and there's something to be said for working with only one other person, versus, a hospital, like a big team where you have this and that and the other thing. And I don't mean like, oh, it must be easier. I just think that, when you can only rely on one other person, well, I mean, you got to have some trust, you got to know each other, you got to know where each other's going to kind of falter off. Like, it's a whole thing. And anyone who tells you differently, get away from them. They don't know what they're talking about. When you're a medic, there is no other person there. It's just you, your partner, and the patient. And I mean bystanders, whatever. But like, no one will see it, smell it, touch it, fear it, experience it, I guess is my point. No one. It's just you and your partner. So I think that's why you really need good partnerships. Because it's just impossible any other way. It's I think that the jobs are just so intertwined that how could you do it any other way? So anyway, okay, great, good. I'm just kind of plugging in the random pieces. I didn't think that I would be doing it like this, but nonetheless, here I am. So it's all good. Pardon me. Yeah, the wood grains, they're that's a bit harder to work out. You guys want to hear something really funny? So, different video, but in this puzzle, because I know it's all blended together, but you guys don't. I did go back to the beach, because I had started talking about going to the beach and honestly getting hit on by someone that, like, I was not interested. In no way did I encourage that behavior. In no way. And to be honest, that I've already discussed in detail, not in the last video, but in one of these videos of this puzzle, I discussed in detail how uncomfortable this person made me, like just so uncomfortable. Anyway, So this is the funny part. So I go to the same beach and I get there early. It's me and the lifeguards basically. And like yesterday, that specific day, I was lucky. And the lifeguards actually came up to me and apologized for his behavior. It was so obvious to, I think, everyone there that I was not interested. And if I were him, I have to operate in a world that he was just that much of a dummy that he just did not realize what every single person on that beach knew, that I was not interested. But I would hate to be him. Like, I would hate to be that, what's the word? Like, that unaware of what is happening in my own life. Like, I'd be mortified. I would be, because he's just like a big joke. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way that that person is taken seriously in their own life. Because if, like, yeah, it's just, it was so awkward. But I must say, it was really nice having the guards come up and, and like we talked for probably a good like 15, 20 minutes easily, just about that one thing. And it was really nice having them come up and kind of acknowledge what happened, because I think sometimes it's really easy for people, especially with mental health, to feel as though they are being too sensitive, too emotional, to this, to that. So just to know that actually I was completely correct in my assessment of this gentleman, to know that I was justified in feeling awkward because other people were awkward and they weren't even involved, in the situation. So anyway, just nonetheless, very interesting to me. So yeah, but I did get to go back to the beach, which was good. Certainly enjoyed. And yeah, it's nice being able to go somewhere and not have to be hit on, and not have to, have these discussions that like you don't want to have. It just, yeah. So anyway. Still recording? Yep. Okay, good. Obviously, doing recording inside versus being out in the greenhouse, it's more reliable because, like, I can have my camera plugged in and I can control the temperature and all that good stuff. So that's nice. But yeah, I miss being out in the greenhouse. I really liked it. It was a whole vibe. You know what I mean? Don't know where this darn thing goes. And I feel like I'm even like picking up the same pieces, and it's just like, okay, stop picking up the pieces that you've already looked at a dozen times. I hate where the mic is. It blocks my view big time. That is so red. Where does that go? It's gotta go over here somewhere. Oh. Huh? No. I don't know. I don't know where any of these pieces go. But I do know I would like to get out in the garden. I find it easier to do the weeding after it rains, and we certainly did need the rain, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I like to kind of get in there because it's just everything's a little bit looser and it's just easier to pick up, like easier to weed and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that always is nice for me. Because I don't know about you, I find my back, it's really sore. And I'm sure I could be weeding smarter, not harder. But at the same time, you know, it is a process trying to keep a garden. Don't ever let anyone tell you different. Where do you go? Right there. It's nice when you can see the puzzle pile getting smaller, unless you're stuck, and then it's like, well, I don't know where these pieces go. Okay. 2 shades of wood. No. Nope. Nice. Now this comment is for the people who truly watch. I don't think anybody does, but anyway. So I was so excited the other night, and I'm not usually excited for supper. Like, it's not, you know, some people are super, I just like, I'm not. But anyway, but I was the other night, oh my goodness, I had corn, like on the cob. Oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh. Where does this go? It was so good. And I made the mistake of only getting like 6 kernels instead of, I should have gotten 12. Oh my goodness. I didn't have it in me to go back to where I got it, and it wasn't locally. That's okay. I'm sure more corn is just around the corner. My poor little garden, not that I like really had corn on the cob for me. I do plant corn on the cob, but typically it goes to my chickens. But I'm sure more corn on the cob is right around the corner for some places. So all in good time. I honestly struggle trying to grow it because the crows get into it. And yes, put in a scarecrow. Listen, if you can find me all this time to do all this stuff, where do you go? There, no. Finding some, right there. I was like, where are these pieces? They're like red. I find this chair so noisy. I find this chair so noisy compared to my other chair. Okay, you're gonna go right there. You know what's funny? Making these videos, so there's some point in time, as you can tell, that where did this one go? There's some point in time in my videos that I don't do a lot of talking because I'm probably thinking about what to say, or I'm trying to figure out a puzzle piece, or blah 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 blah. It's funny though, because I think that typically when you're with someone and you run out of things to say, well, then you usually say, so tell me about you, like, you know, blah, blah. I can't do that. I have to commit to talk. That's okay. I'm a good talker. Let me tell you something. Offload delay will teach you how to talk. Oh my gosh, I remember sitting in offload delay almost the entire shifts. Listen, that life is done for me, so there's no point in me complaining about it. But ye be warned if ye think that ye is going to be just woo, woo, woo all day, every day, because it is not like that. So don't let the Hollywood movies deter you or fill you with false prophecy, because you won't be. I'm just joking. You won't be saving as many lives as you are saving seats. I'm just joking. Relax. Take a breath. I'm just joking. But in all seriousness, it is really funny how, you think in any career, you think, oh, I'm going to get in the career and I'm going to do this and this and this. And either you didn't know what was going to be asked of you, or you did not think through everything clearly. Yeah, it's just funny to me. I keep shifting the puzzle down. I should be shifting the light so you guys can see. And I've always said I want to get away from that end of the table, just because when I was doing some staining, and you can already tell where the story is going to go. I was doing some staining, and a really, really, really nice, unique table. And anyway, the stain, it's a clear stain, sealer actually, not a stainer, a sealer. Pardon me. The sealer dripped on the table, and I cannot. Oh my goodness, sorry. I dropped some sealant on the table, and I can't get it off for the life of me. So, and I don't plan to keep this table, so, whatever, it is what it is. But, yeah. All right. Moving along, just kind of plugging holes right now, so that's good. Long face. No, where are you at? Right there. Oh. I've been doing a lot of exercising lately, not hitting the gym. I'll leave it up to you guys. But doing a lot of walking, because I walk my dogs, of course, every day. And then I walk at the beach as well. And the beaches I go to are large beaches. And so just walking. And then as well, I do swimming. And so I feel really, really good. But I certainly feel a little bit more sore than, if I'm just kind of taking it easy and blah, blah. However, for me, I like being active, which is funny because the times that I decide, okay, I'm going to lie on the beach or okay, let's not talk about that, but that's okay. But yeah, I like to be active, and but certainly I'm a little bit more sore today. Just even trying to move my legs around under the chair, I'm like, oh yeah, that's stiff and sore. So maybe I'll just have to take her easy. It's not even like I'm going crazy hard. It's just, perhaps I'm more invested into my mental health than my physical health, and perhaps I'm pushing it a little bit more than I need to be. I don't know. So I guess I just need to kind of just check in a little bit and just make sure I'm not pushing it a little too much. Because I certainly I have a very addictive type of a personality. So once I like something, I'm gonna be all in. And so there was a time when I started going to the gym, and I really like cardio. And so I would get on the elliptical and I would just put music on. And even though I was on the cardio machine, I would basically dance on the cardio machine. I just really like music, and if I hear a good song, I can't even help it. I start to move. And it was to the point that other gym people were coming up and saying, like, what are you listening to? Because I was just like, I was like, yeah. So I would dance, do all that stuff for about an hour, let's say. About an hour-ish, let's say. And then I would go to the pool and I would swim laps. And like, I'm not a great swimmer, but I have endurance. I can swim and swim. I'd say that's probably my biggest, well, not my biggest, my biggest strength is my endless supplies of energy. However, you know, sometimes I think that even though my body can keep going, it's not always the best thing for it. Because when I would get out of the pool, where are we at now? When I would get out of the pool, my legs would just be like shaking. And it's because I was overdoing it. And there's no need. There is no need to overdo it like I did it. And, you know, so I think that you got to be really careful if you're like me with that addictive personality, because I was like, oh man, like, I was like, I like this. And I started to look better. And even though I wasn't feeling great, because I was sore all the time and, you know, blah, 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 you can imagine. And well, I shouldn't say blah, blah. I don't want people to imagine that. I was so sore all the time because I was just giving, instead of like splitting up the days, I would just go from one to the other. And in a row, sorry. And it just became really hard on my body. So I stopped going to the gym. I'm a swimmer, like that's my jam. And listen, if you like to do it all, good for you. And if you don't like to do any of it, okay, well, I don't know. Like I don't know what to tell you. Nonetheless, it darn it, I forget what I was talking about. God. Oh. I don't know. Oh, guys, you can't even understand how frustrating it is to lose your mind. You lose your memory all the time. It is. It is embarrassing. It's frustrating. It's everything. It just is. Anyway, I don't know, I'm just sitting here hoping it was going to come back to me, but I don't think so. That's okay. It is what it is. Cannot freak out about what you cannot control. I did go for a walk with one of my friends recently, and we were talking about my skydiving. And it was funny because I talked about the 30-second free fall. And whew, that I've determined, as you can imagine, it's just taken me a minute to determine it. I did not enjoy that section of it. And the reason is a personal reason. And it's because you have no control. You are free falling for 30 seconds. So that's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, you know, and yeah, that, well, okay, the way I said it to my friend was, you know how those water parks and like those big, I call them balloons, but one person sits here, the other person jumps on it here, and then it's like this person goes, whew, poof. And when you watch that person try to, as they're up in the air, as you watch that person try to, in a sense, regain their direction in space and time, and they're flailing and blah, blah, and it's really funny, ha ha. Well, that's what it kind of felt like, even though I was tandem, so tethered to, like, secured to someone, it still felt like I had absolutely no control. And I'm sure the person I was strapped to did not feel like that, because they've done that jump, you know, figurative millions and millions and millions of time. However, for me, who likes to be in control, whoa, that was an odd feeling. It just, yeah, it's like you're trying to grab at something, you don't even know what you're trying to grab at. Like, it's just, it's a weird feeling. So yeah. I put down the pieces of wood ones because I don't know where they go, and then I just pick them right back up. So stubborn. Okay, that one goes there. And then you get one right off the bat. You feel like a badass. Okay, let's see. Where does this one go? I know something I can talk about. Ooh. Okay. So I'm back at the beach. And Mister's there, the guy that I was discussing from the other day. And do you know the first thing, I promise you, that he says coming down the beach as he sets up camp right by the lifeguards, like literally in their way? Oh wow, you get paid to do this? Must be nice. What? So think about what you just said. Take a second. I don't know if you'll feel my frustration yet. I don't know if you'll understand why I'm frustrated yet, or if you need me to explain it. So these people lifeguards should be considered part of the emergency family. They are the ones saving you when you drown. They are not there to babysit your children. They are not there to rescue your floaty. They are not there to be hit on. They are doing a job, and they're doing a very good job at not showing their frustration. I struggle not showing my frustration when people say such idiotic comments as, wow, you get paid to do this. Ooh, okay. So now let's pretend there's a kid drowning. And that kid, let's hypothetically put them at 5. Because the parents probably feel a little bit more relaxed because it's not a baby. It's old enough to, walk about, have some fun. The parents maybe want to have a little relax, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. Now, the baby is face down. Some of you may not be able to hear this. I suggest you move on if you cannot hear this. Now the baby is lying face down in the water at the beach at the water's edge. Who is expected to do something about that? You, the parent, who's probably panicking, or so shell-shocked at what you're seeing that you actually cannot move a finger. So those same people that, oh, they have it so good, they get paid to just hang out at the beach, I mean, that's all they do, and blah, blah. Now they have to do chest compressions on your baby. So can we all give lifeguards the respect they deserve? And stop saying such things when you haven't thought it through. I will leave it at that because that is as nice as I can be about it. So, yeah. I am almost done my puzzle. La, la, la. It is a pretty puzzle. It's got really nice colors in it, which is what I needed, because I did try to start another puzzle, and oh my goodness, it was grayscale. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't doing it for me. Rather, it was just making me stress. But I see the sun coming out, so I'm going to be popping back out to my garden. And yeah, have a little wind down after doing the puzzle. Mm-hmm. There we go. And take the dogs outside with me. And I have some, oh my God, so cute. That's so funny how that fits. It's not the right spot, but it does fit. I have some ducklings, and oh my God, they're so cute. And it's interesting seeing the, what's the word? Seeing the, is the word dichotomy? I don't think it is. Seeing like the power struggle, because I always have a few chickens and ducks and, you know, guineas and stuff kicking around. So whenever you bring home a new animal, like a new poultry, it's interesting to see, you know, the pecking order. That's the word I was trying to think of. The pecking order is very interesting to see who is going to rise to the top and who's going to have to fight to stay where they're at, and, you know, blah, blah. Really a good lesson for life, to be honest, but it, yeah, it's funny. Well, this puzzle is just clicking along. And I think I actually have all the pieces too, which is so nice. Almost done, such a nice time. I really do enjoy puzzling. I think it is just best thing. And do you know what? I'm going to give you some advice. Nuts, I'm missing a piece. Oh my gosh, that's so frustrating. Is it on the ground? It's on the ground! Woo, woo, woo! Yay! Alright, I'm going to give you some advice from a non-parent. Take it if you want it. It's free advice. I think with September right around the corner, I know, believe it or not, I got my puzzle done. With September right around the corner, I think it would be a really good idea. Where are we at here? Okay, let's start that again. With September right around the corner, I think that it would be really worthwhile for if you could find some space in your home that you could, like a table or a, you know, flat surface that you could leave alone for a while. And I think it'd be interesting, you know, the stuff like Elf on a Shelf and all that nonsense that parents have to go through to, like, you know, make their kids happy. But I mean, really, like, what is the kid getting out of that? I mean, regardless, but putting a puzzle down on a table, like the kid who just went to, you know, school, like I'm talking about in September. So when they come home from school, I think it'd be neat to like have a new puzzle out and maybe like start a few pieces. if they walk by it and don't look at it, so what? Because maybe on the 13th day of walking by that puzzle, maybe they'll casually start to put a few pieces together. And that's all I'm saying is I think that instead of like always watching television or, you know, forcing this or forcing that, I think it's kind of neat to see kids kind of like see their creativity and see where their mind takes them and see like, because I just think puzzles are just such a good way. They're good for coping. Like if you don't want to talk and you're just puzzling, then it's an easy out. I think that puzzling allows your mind to relax. Like there's so many good things about puzzling. So I don't know, it literally the thought of putting a puzzle out for September on, you know, a kitchen table or something, for this fall, I just thought that idea literally just came into my head. And, yeah, I just think that'd be cool. And I don't have any kids to do that with, so I'm counting on you guys. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I really enjoyed doing this puzzle. It took me a few attempts to get a rhythm going, but I think I got there. And now my 550-piece puzzle is done. On to the next one. And please don't ever forget, mental health matters. All right, guys. Take care. See you on the next one.